begin this series, you need to understand something. You were born into a war humanity chose. But you were born under a God who reigns over it. And this is a war you cannot avoid. You see, the world is a beautiful place because God created it. But this world is suffering because sin corrupted it. And every generation, the ones before me, the one I belong to, the ones rising under me, and the ones not yet born, have all been shaped by the same invisible battlefield. A battlefield where two training facilities operate. God's training facility, where sons are forged into warriors. Satan's training facility, where captives are shaped into casualties. And the tragedy is this: most people don't even know which one they're in. My generation is collapsing. The generation rising under me is being conditioned for defeat. And even the generations before us have fallen into the same patterns because none of us were trained to discern the battlefield we were born into or the forces shaping us on it. They think sin is normal. They consider bondage personality. They treat trauma as identity. They label rebellion authenticity. They celebrate confusion as freedom. They disguise collapse as self-care. And they promote deception as truth. And Satan, the architect of confusion, has done everything in his power to twist the nature of God across every generation. He takes everything God made good and rebrands it as evil. He takes everything God made holy and repackage it as harmful. He takes everything God made protective and markets it as punishment. And the worst part, he created a counterfeit Christ for every generation that refuses fullness. He created a counterfeit Christ who never disciplines, who never corrects, who never confronts, who never forms. He created a counterfeit Christ who is soft, a Christ who is passive, a Christ who is powerless, a counterfeit Christ who is nothing like the real Jesus. And this is the anti-Christ conditioning, preparing you for the world, whether you're young, old, or unborn, to accept the counterfeit kingdom. Because if you reject God's discipline, you will accept Satan's deception. If you reject God's formation, you will accept Satan's counterfeit. If you reject God's fullness, you will accept Satan's fragments. And the Spirit of the Lord is speaking through me clearly. You cannot survive the end times with a fragmented Christ. It's only the full Christ, the Christ who disciplines, the Christ who forms, the Christ who corrects, the Christ who strengthens, will keep you alive. So this series is not entertainment. This series is not inspiration. This series is not motivation. This is warfare. This is training. This is formation. This is identity restoration. This is remnant preparation. This is kingdom architecture. Because this is end time discipleship. And in this series, we will expose the prosperity gospel. In this series, we will expose the suffering gospel. In this series, we will expose the counterfeit Christ and its anti-Christ conditioning inside of its satanic training facility that sets the suffering trap with its illusion of blessing without formation, along with the collapse of identity without fullness. And we will reveal God's training manual inside God's training facility to reveal God's discipline that brings God's blessings and God's formation and God's military for God's end time strategy that gives God's fullness. This is the fullness of Christ, the revelation that exposes every counterfeit half gospel. So, if you are the remnant, if you are chosen, if you are marked with the seal of God, if you are called, if you are awake, if you are hungry, if you are ready, then StarSeminal presents the fullness of Christ, blessing, and discipline. The revelation that exposes every half gospel. The war begins because this is StarSeminal, a Christ-centered kingdom ecosystem built for the remnant, a spiritual and economic war infrastructure designed to form warriors in identity in Christ, stewards of his wealth, guardians of health, and carriers of a renewed mind, all in absolute faith and obedience to the Most High God through his Son, Jesus the Christ. We are not a brand. We are not a movement. We are not a trend. We are a kingdom economy, forming a training facility, a war room, a remnant headquarters, and a global ecosystem that is preparing God's people to endure, to prosper, and to remain faithful until our true King, Jesus Christ, returns. This is StarSeminal, where fullness is the mandate and Christ is the model, and preparing the remnant is the mission.